Yes, we're looking at a Sigma today. It's the 24-35mm f2 art lens. And we're in Dedham today. Dedham, 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 something like that. As it's an art lens, still don't know what that means, we've come to Dedham, the heart of Constable country. The artist, John Constable, not a policeman. It's not often that you get a zoom lens with a maximum aperture faster than f2.8, so this is quite unique. It's unique, yes, but also distinguished by its massive size. I mean, even the lens cap is like a dinner plate. Anyway, so we're in Constable country, and I'm going to shoot some Constable-like landscapes, and there's only one way to do that, and that's DRTV style. So yes, to get in the John Constable kind of mindset, we have to dress like this. When I say we, just me. It's not entirely accurate to the period, but details. No need to be pedantic. The only way to go trudging around cow-poo-laden fields is in a quasi-Regency style, with Regency Adidas sports socks. I think I look more like a magician than a abracadabra. Actually, the costume wasn't the thing weighing me down. It's the lens, if anything. As I said earlier, it is a big lens. It's heavy too. Unnecessarily so. I mean, just because it's got an f2 maximum aperture, doesn't it really need to be this big? But with such a chunky lens, although it's robust and sturdy, you don't actually get anything in the way of proper weather sealing. Just gonna wait for some boats to come along. It has a hypersonic motor for super silent focusing. Great! I wouldn't want to attract attention to myself after all. Initially, things look pretty good. Nice, sharp images. So yeah, the Sigma seems pretty good in terms of image quality. Not bad. It really puts in a respectable performance throughout the range. Anyway, I move on to Flatford, an area that featured quite prominently in Constable's paintings. So this might be useful. A guide to Constable country. Starting off from here. I thought I'd go into the bridge house to compare attire with the boss himself. Well, one thing you don't get enough of in Constable paintings is enough bokeh. Shame. Boat building near Flatford Mill. There's not much boat building going on today, is there? Yes, and I like how with the original it's some boat building, and with the new one it's a cafeteria. So yes, it's changed a bit. Let's go to number 2. That's not bad too. That's 35mm focal length. Pretty sharp in the middle. But as reasonable as the out of focus bits are at f8, it's the centre sharpness that amazes. Look at that detail. Ducking brilliant. Moving on to Willie Lott's house. No, that isn't a house with lots of willies inside. The performance on the wider end of the scale is just as pleasing. Sharpness is excellent in the middle with a slight reduction to the edges, not noticeable when stopped down. The mid-range shows a slight decrease in image quality, but not much. It is a strong performer, having no problem shooting into light, even if your eyes will. Low on chromatic aberrations too. Oh, and the bokeh! Really quite decent. It seems like the Sigma is 100% win. Certainly, it produces some top-notch images. So the Sigma 24-35mm f2 art lens is pretty good, performs well throughout the range. But the only problem with this is the zoom range, 24-35. It's not that massive like. You could just get the 24, 28, and 35 from Canon, f2 2.8. Do you really need to carry something as big as this when you can carry around 3 primes? Or maybe even just 2. And use your feet to zoom. Ugh. As much as I like the images from it, I don't know if I'd bother owning one. It's the size and the weight, and for not much gained in terms of functionality. If I'm carrying a huge heavy lens around, I'd want a significant amount of range. But a 24 to 35mm isn't much, in all honesty. Perhaps useful in tight spaces, but you could get away with a 24 and a 35mm prime, skipping a 28mm altogether. But if you have to have 24 to 35 with everything in between, this is a big performer. Well, just plain big. It's stuck with super glue or what? That is only one way to do it. Oh. Yeah, it's a bit of a stinger. Whew.